The blackness of space stretched out before the scout ship. Its engines hummed softly as it drifted through the emptiness. Crew members watched glowing screens. Their eyes showed confidence. They had mapped thousands of systems. They had never felt fear. Yet today, something was different. Captain Rao moved to the bridge window. He stared out where no stars should be. But there, at the edge of their scanners, a signal pulsed. It was strange. Deep, cold. It filled their ship with a shiver, Captain, said Lieutenant V's. Signal detected. We've never encountered data like this before. Rao nodded. Show it. The screen filled with shifting shapes, strange pulses of light, patterns that made no sense. The noise crept in and out. It sounded like a heartbeat, but slower. Older. Rao felt uneasy. Where is it from? Sector unknown, V's replied. Beyond known space. Coordinates are unstable. The bridge fell quiet. Crew members exchanged worried glances. Admiral Scar had warned them, never explore unknown signals alone. But Rao's fleet was far from any command center. They had no orders to retreat. Set course, Rao said finally. We go toward that signal. As they moved forward, the signal grew stronger. Screens glowed brighter. The hum in the ship deepened. It felt like something watching them. 2 hours later, the scout ship reached the edge of a dark region. Number: stars, no other ships. Only their own lights cut through emptiness. They entered. It was silent, to silent. Then sensors flickered. The signal vanished. The humming stopped. The crew gasped. The bridge lights dimmed. All screens showed static. Lieutenant V's tried again and again. Still nothing. She shook her head. It's gone. Captain Rao stared through the window. The nothingness pressed against the glass. He felt dread. Keep scanners on full power. Something is hiding. Suddenly alarms rang. The scanner view glitched. A massive object filled the screen, blacker than space. It swallowed light. It looked like a moon, but bigger, or maybe a ship. The silhouette moved. The bridge shivered. One crew member whispered, "Ghost." No, Rao said carefully, but powerful. The object vanished as quickly as it appeared. The lights in the bridge flickered back. Everything returned. But the fear remained. Send a probe, Rao ordered. Drone, Omega-6. It should. Map the shape. Minutes later, the drone launched. It glided into that dark zone. As it moved, the signal returned stronger than before. The hum returned even louder. Bridge screens filled with drone data. A massive hole. No lights, no engines, no energy. Yet it moved. It blocked sensors as if alive. The drone neared then. Silence. The drone cut off mid-transmission. Static filled the screens. Crew held their breath. Lieutenant V's tapped urgently. It's gone too. Captain Rao tried to radio the drone. Nothing. Even the backup beacon went dark. Retrieve it, he ordered. Bring it home now. A rescue drone went in, but returned with the same result. Vanished. No signal. No hull. No wreckage. Nothing. The dark shape swallowed it, V said. Her voice shook. Rao's heart pounded. He had led many ships, but never felt this zero. The unknown pressed on them. He activated ship sensors again. Nothing. The signal changed now. It pulsed slow, like a heartbeat, but heavy. It vibrated the hull. He spoke softly. This is what holds their attention for now. The crew leaned forward as one. They felt drawn to that cold pulse. It was not random space. It was deliberate. Then, another alert. An echo. Something large moving. The ship drifted. Gravity shifted. Objects floated. Crew grabbed poles. A massive bulge appeared outside through the window. Something huge and silent. It blocked stars. It had edges that curved. It was massive. It was still. Finally, the echo stopped. Silence again. The unknown ship, a shape bigger than a moon, slid away. It glowed faintly, as if it absorbed light. Crew gasped. They were powerless. They could not scan it. No, they could not chase it. It vanished into emptiness. Captain Rao called the fleet on come. This is Scout 1. We detected an unknown warship. Massive cold. It vanished. I request backup. Silence. Echoed back. No reply. They had drifted too far. No support yet. He took a deep breath. We proceed at slower speed. Scan again, but prepare defenders. If this thing returns, we must be ready. The crew worked. Suspense filled them. Screen after screen, signal after signal, they tried to learn. But the object eluded all sensors. Day turned to 2 days. The signal pulsed nightly. Each time stronger. Each time, the dark shape appeared and vanished promptly. Crew grew restless. Sleep escaped them. Some stood in silence, staring at the emptiness. Lieutenant V's approached the captain. She showed the new signal logs. Each pulse is different. Time between them shortens. How long now? 30 minutes, she said. Now 20. Captain Rao felt dread. It's counting us down. On the third night, the pulse changed. It sped up. The shape returned instantly. The ship trembled as it passed close. The lights flickered. The walls groaned. Crew braced. It was like a giant had passed by, close enough to touch, then calm. But something remained a whisper on the scanners, a trace left by the passing hull. The crew froze. They saw a symbol etched into the hull. Strange design. 2 lines. Circle, / human letters. They could not read it. Captain Rao ordered a picture. They captured the faint mark, then asked headquarters to compare with known. Alien languages. No match. He raised voice to crew. We have seen a warship from Earth. One built in secret. One no one believed existed. A hush fell. The room felt heavy. He pressed record. Began voice log. We have encountered what we believe is a Titan-class human warship called Black Horizon. It hides in darkness and blocks our instruments. We have lost drones. We have no idea what its weapons can do. The crew watched him speak. Some eyes glistened with fear, some with awe. He ended, prepare for possible contact. We do not know if they are hostile. We do not know their purpose, but they made a warning. Their shape came close enough to show their symbol. We must learn more, but carefully. The log ended. Over the next hour, they planned. They needed more data. They needed to stay hidden, needed stealth probes. But outside, on the dark edge, the signal pulsed again. Slower now, but steady. It waited. Captain Rao stood back at the window. He thought, this was the beginning. They had pierced a darkness bigger than anything they had imagined. It awakened something that might come again. He turned. Back to his crew. At dawn, we launch a small, silent probe. No lights, low power. We get closer. We find that symbol again. Lieutenant V's nodded, trembling. The crew prepared in silence. The second half of the night crept on. As time passed, the signal slowed to a soft thrum. The object drifted near, not so close, not so far. Waiting, Captain. Rao whispered. We wait too, we learn, then decide. And with that promise, part 1 ends on the edge of a mystery, a warship larger than moons, a silent symbol carved in darkness, a human ghost ship hiding at the edge of space, something old, something deadly, and a crew full of dread and wonder. The alien fleet arrived near the dead zone. 47 warships, strong and well-armed, stood in formation. Their weapons were hot, their shields were up, their leaders were ready. But the space around them was quiet. Too quiet. Admiral Scar stood tall on the command deck of the Bringer of Flame, the largest and most feared ship in the Zarn Empire. He looked at the black space ahead of him. No stars, no movement, no light, just cold, empty darkness. His second-in-command, Vorn, stepped forward. Sir, no signals from the dark region. Scout ship data ends here. They were last seen 3 rotations ago. Admiral Scar said nothing. He kept staring. Then he spoke. Ready the sensors? Scan deep. We're not leaving until we know what happened. Fleet spread out. Each ship took a different scanning angle. Its waves of energy passed into the darkness. But they came back empty. No objects, no signals, no signs of life then. Something strange happened. One of the smaller ships in the back line, the Talon's Grasp, suddenly blinked off the fleet's radar. No alarm, no explosion, no heat. It was just gone. The command deck went silent. Report. Scar shouted. A tech officer answered quickly. Sir, the Talon's Grasp. It vanished. No signal, no wreckage. Sensors show nothing. It's like it was never there. Vorn looked uneasy. That's impossible. There was no attack, no weapon. Can do that? Scar growled. Nothing is impossible. Send a recon drone now. A fast drone launched from the Bringer of Flame. It flew toward the last location of the missing ship. The fleet watched the live feed. At first all was calm. Then the screen shook. The image turned black and white, then static. The drone vanished. 2. Scar clenched his fists. It's hunting us, another officer shouted. Incoming signal. Everyone turned to the front screen. A new message blinked in alien text. You were warned. Leave. The bridge crew stared at each other. Who sent the message? Was it a ship? A weapon? A being? Before they could decide, a distorted image appeared. It was fuzzy, hard to see. But something was there, a shape, massive and cold, half hidden by static. It looked like a ship. A human. Ship Vorn leaned forward. That's not possible. Scar narrowed his eyes. Enhance the image. They zoomed in. Slowly the picture became clearer. The black hole, the long, sharp sides, the silence around it. Then they saw the name written on its side, barely readable. HSS Black Horizon, Vern whispered. The same. Ship from the Scouts report. Scar spoke slowly, so it wasn't a lie. The officers looked afraid now. This wasn't just a human ship. It was something else. Something beyond. Another message appeared. Last warning. Leave now. Scar didn't move. He looked at the message, then at his crew. This is a threat. The Zarn Empire does not run from threats. He gave the order. All ships prepare to fire. Missiles. Armed. Lasers charged. The fleet aimed every weapon they had into the dark. Then, silence. No target. The Black Horizon was gone. Officers began to speak. Some wanted to retreat. Some wanted to wait. But then, without warning, the Voidbreaker, another Zarn warship, exploded. No light, no sound. It just turned into dust. 1 second it was there. The next dash, nothing. Panic spread. 3 more ships vanished within a minute. The enemy wasn't attacking from the front. It was already inside their lines. Scar shouted, form a shield circle. Protect the command ships. It was no use. From the black, small objects flew into view. Drones. Hundreds of them. They were pitch black, shaped like knives, and they moved fast, too fast. Some latched onto ships and melted through their holes. Others sent out invisible pulses that shut down entire systems. The fleet fired everything they had. Missiles, plasma, cannons, energy beams. But the drones were too fast, too smart, too silent. The bridge of the Bringer of Flame shook. Scar barked. Damage report. Shields at 40%. We've lost 5 more ships. Enemy drones are avoiding all weapons. No. Our blind spots. Scar's eyes narrowed. This ship isn't human. It's something humans built to fight gods. Then the Black Horizon appeared again. This time it was close. Very close. Bigger than anything they'd ever seen. It blocked out all stars behind. It didn't fire. It didn't move. It simply hovered. Watching, the crew went silent. Everyone stared. A voice echoed through every ship. Deep. Calm. Human. You came too close. We warned you. Now you understand. Scar tried to respond. Who are you? The voice answered. 1 ship. 1 warning. You won't get another. Then. The Black Horizon vanished. Just like that. Gone. The drones stopped. They returned into the dark. The attacks ended. 20 ships remained. Vorn turned to Scar. What do we do now? Scar stared into the empty black space. We leave. He activated the fleet-wide channel, says Admiral Scar. All remaining ships retreat. Full speed. Do not return to this zone. The fleet turned. Slowly, carefully, they moved away from the dark region. No one spoke. No one looked back. But every mind carried one thought. If this is just one ship, how many more are waiting in the dark? And what will happen if humanity ever decides to attack first? The Zarn fleet was silent as it drifted far from the dead zone. 20 ships remained. They had lost 27. Not to a war, not to a battle, to something they couldn't see. Something that did not speak, did not ask, and did not miss. The crew of the Bringer of Flame watched old recordings again and again. The last image, the black horizon, was burned into their minds. No one could explain it. No one could understand it. But Admiral Scar wanted answers. He called a secret meeting. With his officers, we need to know what that ship is, where it came from, who is inside it. We must understand the human threat. Vorn looked worried. We barely escaped. If we return, it may destroy us all. We won't return with war, Scar replied. We return with stealth. And so they sent a new team. Small ship, no weapons, no signal. Just for quiet soldiers and one goal, to enter the black horizon. They called the mission Shadow Flight. The small ship moved slowly into the dead zone. It carried no lights, no heat, no noise. The main fleet waited far behind. Admiral Scar watched. From his command deck, his arms crossed. Do not speak, he said to the crew. Do not wake it. The ship drifted through the black. The giant warship came into view. It had not moved. It had not changed. It was still, watching the human ship looked dead, but it was not. The Zarn boarding team floated toward it, silent and still. Their pod landed on the side of the warship. The hull felt colder than anything they had ever touched. No doors opened. No lights welcomed them. So they cut their way in. They entered a tunnel. It was long, black, and empty. Their flashlights barely worked. The light was swallowed by the walls. Inside, there was no heat, no noise, no air movement, just stillness. They stepped carefully. One soldier touched the wall. It felt like metal, but it was too smooth. It was almost soft. Like skin, they moved deeper. After 100 meters, they found a corridor. Symbols covered the walls. Human language is but old. Some symbols were burned in. Others were scratched with sharp objects. Some were messages. One of them said, "You should not have come." Another said, "This ship breathes." And another, "We are watching everything." The Zarn team looked at each other. One of them wanted to leave, but the leader, a female soldier named Kal, shook her head. Keep moving. They found rooms, empty chairs, empty beds. No people, no bodies, no sounds, just dust, they found. A command bridge, but there were no controls, no windows. It's only one chair, large, tall, and clean. It faced a blank wall. Behind the chair, one word was carved deeply into the metal: silence. Cock whispered, "Is this a ghost ship?" Before anyone could speak, the lights flickered. A low sound began to hum. A voice echoed through the ship. Calm, human. Male, you stepped where you were warned not to. The team froze. Kaak spoke. "Who are you?" The voice replied. "You are not welcome. You were not invited. This is not a place for your kind." Cock looked at the walls. They were changing. Symbols shifted. Metal moved. The floor bent, then flattened again. The ship was alive. One soldier screamed. His foot had melted into the floor. The metal wrapped around his leg. He pulled, but the ship pulled harder. In seconds, he was gone. Swallowed, the others ran. But the walls changed. The path twisted. The way out was gone. Cock grabbed a device. She activated a beacon. "Admiral, pull us out. The ship is static. No signal, no voice." Then silence. Outside, the small transport ship still floated near the black horizon, but it no longer showed any crew inside. The life signs were gone, the pod, detached by itself. It drifted back toward the fleet, slowly, calmly. It arrived hours later, inside. The 4 soldiers sat in their seats, perfectly still, eyes open, not breathing, not dead, but not alive either. Medical teams checked them. No wounds, no brain activity. But their hearts beat, their lungs moved, their eyes blinked. Admiral Scar stood over Cox's body. "What did you see?" He whispered. Her eyes turned toward him. She smiled and spoke in a deep, slow voice not hers. "You should have listened." Every screen on every ship turned black, then white. Then the face of a human man appeared. He wore a black suit. His skin looked old. His eyes were pure white. He said, "This was your second mistake. You do not get a third." And the image vanished. The lights returned. Cox and her team stopped moving. Now they were truly dead. Scar backed away. "This is not a war we understand." He turned to his officers. "This ship is not human. It is beyond human. It is something else." Vorn nodded. "It's a ghost ship, but not empty, not broken. It wants us to look." Scar whispered, "Then why hasn't it killed us all?" No one answered. That night, the black horizon moved for the first time. It drifted out of the dead zone, toward the stars. Toward Third space. The message was clear. The warning was over. The black horizon moved slowly across the stars. It did not fly, it did not jump, it drifted like a shadow, pulled by something old and quiet. The Zarn fleet watched it from a distance. Every ship had gone silent. No one spoke. No one moved. They just watched. Admiral Scar stood on the deck of the Bringer of Flame, eyes locked on the screen. The human warship had not fired a single shot, but it had already killed more than half his fleet. He had faced many enemies. He had burned planets. He had crushed rebellions. But he had never seen a ship like this. A ship that acted like it was alive. A ship that whispered instead of roared. Vorn stepped beside him. "Sir, should we fire?" Scar didn't answer right away. He was thinking, watching, waiting. Then finally he said, "No, not yet. It's testing us. Or maybe warning us." Its black horizon stopped. Its engines lit up for the first time. They didn't glow like normal engines. They burned black. A deep, dark light that hurt the eyes. It turned, slowly, toward the Zarn fleet. Then it sent a signal. Not in words, in images. Every screen in every ship blinked. Pictures flooded the decks. Earth, cities burning. Old wars, space battles, human ships exploding, human ships surviving. Then a new image. A planet, large and blue. Earth, but behind Earth, hundreds of red dots appeared. Dots shaped like the black horizon. It was not alone. Admiral Scar stepped forward. "This is no warning. It's a message. They're ready." The black horizon's weapons powered on. Turrets unfolded like wings. Cannons opened like eyes. It's all still silent. Then the ship spoke. Not a person. The ship itself. Its voice echoed through the fleet. "You woke me. Now I watch you. I will not sleep again." The Zarn fleet moved into defense positions, shields up, weapons armed. Their ships were fast and strong, but fear had already entered their minds. The black horizon launched its drones, hundreds of them. They looked like shadows with wings. Small, silent, deadly. They didn't fly straight. They twisted and curved, dancing through space like smoke. One Zarn ship fired. A drone exploded. Then 10 drones turned and rushed the attacker. Within seconds, the ship was gone. It's not destroyed, erased, no wreckage, no light. Just dust. The fleet opened fire. Lasers, missiles, plasma. The sky lit up. But it wasn't enough. The drones avoided most shots. Some flew through them. Others changed shape mid-air. They were not machines. They were part of the ship. One drone landed on a warship's hull. The hull melted. The ship collapsed from the outside in, like paper and fire. Admiral Scar shouted, "Target the main ship, fire all weapons." 100 weapons locked on the black horizon. They fired, the missiles reached it, the lasers hit. Nothing happened. Black horizon didn't flinch. Instead, it moved forward. One cannon on its side lit up. Just one. It fired a beam. Silent. Thin. White. It cut through 3 ships in 1 second. No explosion. Just 3 holes where ships used to be. Then silence. The drones returned to the ship. The black horizon spoke again. "You were told not to come. You came. Now you understand." Scar's hand shook. "Retreat," he whispered. "Now." "But," the voice continued, "you attacked. You woke the Titan. There will be no third chance." And then the ship disappeared. Not jumped. Not flew, vanished. The fleet stood alone. Admiral Scar collapsed into his chair. "This war is over," he said. "We just don't know it yet." The rest of the fleet turned away. Broken. Silent, but in the shadows of space. Something else moved. Another shape. Another warship. Human, the Titan was not alone. It had brothers. And they were waking up. The fleet returned home in silence. Of the original 47 ships, only 17 made it back. They didn't talk about the battle. They didn't talk about the black horizon. They didn't have to. The fear was written on every face. Admiral Scar stood before the Grand Council of the Tsarn Empire. He looked tired, older, weaker. His voice was low and steady. "We went to observe a signal. We returned after meeting a power we cannot fight, a ship we do not understand. We have awakened something ancient and human." The council members murmured in disbelief. One of them, High Lord Vesk, leaned forward. "You were attacked? By humans?" Scar nodded. "By a human warship, but it did not act like humans."
"Acted like something more?"
"Like a machine made to punish gods." Vesk laughed. "A single ship? And you ran." Scar looked up, calm but firm. "It destroyed 30 ships in silence. It erased them. Not with heat or fire, but with something else. Something we don't have words for." Another counselor asked, "Why didn't it finish you?" Scar paused, then said, "Because it didn't want to. It gave us a message." He played the recorded signal. A voice echoed through the chamber. This was one ship. "If you return, you will see more." The room went silent. Scar turned to them. "I asked for one thing, leave Earth alone." But the council did not listen. The Tsarn Empire was proud. They'd never lost a war. They'd never feared a race. Now they laughed at ghosts and warnings. Within days, new plans were made. More fleets. Bigger guns. More scans of human space. But then, something strange happened. Other Tsarn fleets, in other galaxies, began going. Dark first, a mining colony went silent. Then, an entire patrol group vanished. No distress call, no message, just silence. Fear returned. Scar met again with Vorn. The two sat in a quiet room, away from the council. "They're already watching," Scar said. Vorn nodded. "The black horizon sent a warning. We ignored it. Now others are moving. Across the galaxy, strange things began to appear on deep space sensors. Shadows. With no origin, black shapes that did not match any known ship. And always they were shaped like the first human. Then a message was received. Not a voice, not a picture, just words. "We warned you. The stars belong to all. But war belongs to us." The message came not just to the Tsarn, but to everyone. Hundreds of species, all at once. Every empire, every colony, all saw the same thing. A black screen, a shadow, and the words, "We do not want war, but we do not fear it. Let Earth sleep or wake." Our fury, the galaxy went still. Meetings were held. Plans were stopped. Armies paused. The fear of something bigger, something hidden, grew, even the strongest. Empires changed their tone. The humans had not attacked. They had not demanded, they had warned, and that was worse. Scar watched the stars. He remembered the ship, the silence, the words, and he knew this was no longer about Earth. It was about balance. The humans had built their monsters, and they were watching, waiting, ready if even one world made the wrong move. They would return, and next time they would not stop. The galaxy waited. Weeks passed. No attack came. No human ship appeared. But the silence felt heavier with each day, as if the stars themselves were holding their breath. Many races stopped their plans of war. They called it caution. But the truth was fear. They had seen the black horizon. They'd heard its warning, but not all listened. In a far part of the galaxy, a small but proud empire called the Drail launched a secret mission. They believed humans were bluffing. They sent 5 stealth ships toward Earth, quiet, fast, invisible to most sensors. They never reached it. Their last message was one word: light. After that, nothing. Then it happened. On the edge of neutral space, where trade ships passed and outposts floated quietly, something appeared, not just one, many 12 ships, all shaped like the black horizon, but each different. One looked burned, another pulsed with blue light. A third dragged metal like chains. They had no markings, no flags, only silence. They passed through trade zones without speaking, but everywhere they went, systems shut down. Communications failed. Space stations froze. People panicked. They didn't attack. They didn't need to. Their presence was enough. They were watching. One station commander tried to speak to them. He sent a message. "Why are you here?" A voice returned. "You were warned." The same words played in every language. Then a final signal. "We do not want to rule. We want peace. But peace will not hide from fear. Let Earth be, or we will return." And then, just as quickly as they came, 12 ships vanished. Not all at once, one by one, each, to a different part of space. Some say they returned to Earth, others say they went to sleep again, but everyone now believed humanity had changed. They had built warships not just to fight, but to end wars before they began. And they had shown their power only once. That was enough. The Drail Empire fell within months, not by human hands, but by its own fear. Their people refused to fight. Their leaders vanished. Their fleets broke apart. The Zarn Empire no longer sent scouts near Earth. They stopped saying humans were weak. Admiral Scar left the council. He became a teacher, told young officers. Not about victory, but about mistakes, about pride, about fear. He told them one truth. There are wars you can win, and there are wars you should never start. Years passed, trade returned. Peace slowly grew, but every time a new leader spoke of conquest, they remembered the day the sky turned black, and the warships that said nothing, but meant everything, the ones who returned and might return again.